Grimora.
I started working night shift at the Riverside Inn, a small hotel outside Baton Rouge in Louisiana. My shift ran from 11 at night until 7 in the morning. The manager told me it would be quiet work. He said that nothing unusual ever happened after midnight. Most nights I sat at the front desk, watched the security monitors, and waited for morning. The lobby stayed dim after 11. Only a few lamps remained on, giving the space a soft yellow color. The vending machines hummed near the elevator. The security screen rotated through the camera views every few seconds. I could hear the air system moving through the vents in steady rhythm. The building felt empty once guests went to their rooms. Nothing strange happened during my first 2 shifts. A truck driver checked in at 1 in the morning. A family asked for directions to the highway. I walked the hallways around 3 to check each floor. The hotel stayed quiet. Most rooms remained dark. My footsteps were the only sound in the corridors. On my 3rd night, the phone on the front desk rang at 1:30. The caller ID displayed the number for room 309 on the 3rd floor. I answered with the usual greeting. The line was quiet except for a faint sound, like running water somewhere far away. No voice spoke. I waited and listened. After several seconds, the line disconnected. I checked the computer system. Room 309 was marked out of service. No guest assigned. A note said maintenance work only. I wrote the time in the logbook and continued the shift. At 2:10, the phone rang again. The same display. Room 309. I answered. The same water sound played through the line, but a little louder and closer. I asked if anyone needed towels. No voice responded. The line went silent and disconnected again. When the shift ended, I told the day manager about the calls. He looked at the screen, then down at the log sheet, and then said that room 309 had been closed for years because of water damage. He said the phone line sometimes misrouted. He told me to ignore any calls if they came again. On the 4th night, the call came earlier, 12:47. The display showed 309. When I answered, the running water sound was clearer than before, like a bathtub filling in the next room. After a moment, the water stopped. I heard breathing, slow and controlled. No words, just steady breath close to the receiver. The line disconnected. I checked the hallway camera for the 3rd floor. The corridor was empty. Room 309 was in the center of the frame, sealed with black tape across the door handle and a paper sign that read staff only. Nothing moved. The lights stayed dim. At 1:10, the phone rang again. Same number. I heard the same breath, but longer. No voice, just air moving through the line. When it ended, I decided to walk upstairs. I took a towel cart with me so it would look like routine work. The elevator door opened slowly at the 3rd floor. The hallway was silent. The air felt cooler than the other floors. Not cold enough to see breath, just noticeably lower temperature. I walked toward room 309. The cartwheels rolled softly over the carpet. The black tape on the door was still intact. I listened. There was no water sound and no movement. I turned to walk back. A phone rang behind me. A wall phone near the exit sign at the end of the hallway began ringing. The caller ID displayed 309. I answered. The water sound returned, louder and closer, like the phone sat inside a bathroom. The sound stopped, and the same breathing started again. Then I heard a soft, young voice, very quiet. It asked for towels. The last word sounded wet, as if spoken through water. The line cut out. I returned downstairs. I watched the 3rd floor camera. For a moment, the hallway carpet showed faint dark footprints leading away from the door of 309 toward the elevator. The shapes looked like bare feet, spaced evenly. When I walked upstairs again to check, the carpet showed no marks, dry and clean. When I returned to the monitor, the footprints were visible again on the screen. The next night, the calls changed pattern. The first came at 12:10 from 309, then another at 12:20 from the hallway phone, then another from the laundry room extension in the basement. The caller ID kept switching between the laundry code and 309 before disconnecting. At 1 in the morning, I folded towels neatly and placed them on the cart. I rode the elevator to the 3rd floor again. The air felt heavy. I placed 3 towels in a stack on the floor against the door of 309. The hallway stayed silent. As I turned to leave, the door latch clicked. A soft metal sound. The door did not open. The tape lifted slightly at one corner. I walked to the elevator without looking back. The doors opened instantly, without button press, like the car had been waiting. At the front desk, the phone was already ringing. The display showed 309. I let it ring. At 4:50, the day manager arrived. I told him everything. He listened and then said that 16 years ago, a girl drowned in the bathtub in room 309 during a storm that knocked out the power. The overflow drain was blocked. Staff found her only after water ran into the hallway. They shut the plumbing off, sealed the room, and removed it from use. The phone line should not be active. He opened a drawer and took out an old brass key labeled 309. He said he kept it so it would not remain alone upstairs. As sunlight reached the lobby windows, the internal staff phone rang once. The display showed a code for the housekeeping closet next to 309. The manager answered and listened. He nodded once and hung up. He said the closet door was open slightly, and the towels I placed had been taken inside. He said if 309 ever called again, we should always say the towels were on the way, even if we never carried them upstairs. He said some guests check out late. On the monitor, the hallway looked normal. The tape on the door was smooth, but the carpet still showed faint dark footprints stopping just before the elevator, waiting.